talk of democracy, we mean true representation, and the parliament is the place, and therefore the people must be informed. A program that brings to you expert clarifications and teachings of parliamentary concepts and procedures. Welcome to this program.
Thank you very much.
On Parliamentary Guide, we'll teach, we explain, we clarify parliamentary concepts and terms.
You're welcome to the program Parliamentary Guide. I'm Lami Ali. On today's edition of the program, we are privileged to have with us a distinguished personality, a senator representing Ekiti South in Nigeria's Senate. Let's welcome Senator Adaramodu. Sir, thank you for joining us on the program.
Oh, thank you very much. You are welcome. And then I greet all Nigerians and I say Happy New Year once again.
Thank you, sir. Now, let me also tell our viewers that the person we have with us today, featuring on the program, is also a member of the pen profession. I cannot hide that fact, so they know what to expect as we engage you on issues that have to do with Nigeria's legislature. Now, Nigeria's 10th Senate was inaugurated on the 13th of June 2023, and it's been quite a roller coaster ride right from when the 10th National Assembly was inaugurated. As the chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Publicity, we want you to tell us what has been the philosophy of the 10th Senate since its inauguration in the business of lawmaking.
Yes, thank you very much. And like I said, once again, I want to say Happy New Year to all Nigerians and especially to my people from Ekiti South Central District of Ekiti State. And then, Ekiti State is the land of honor. So my people from Ekiti South, they are people of honor. So once again, being the spokesperson for the 10th Senate, as the chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, yes, the Senate was inaugurated, the 10th Senate, was inaugurated on the 13th of June 2023. And then our focus and our creed and our objective, apart from the three major fulcrums that the legislators are supposed to observe and to serve: one, lawmaking; two, oversight functions; three, advocate, educate, represent our constituents in attracting projects and programs, progressive programs to our constituents. Apart from those three areas, the 10th Senate, definitely we call and we are christened the Uncommon Senate. And why are we uncommon? It's a Senate that is going to ensure that we represent our people very well, adequately well, qualitatively and quantitatively. And then not only that, we have a very, very good parley with the other arms of government, the judiciary, the executive, and to ensure and to make sure that the progress that we have been yearning for in Nigeria, either economically or politically or otherwise, that we could get to them, we attain them. Yes, it might not be the Eldorado, but we have to prepare for that Eldorado to be attained. We say Rome was not built in a day, but there was no day that Rome was left unbuilt. So the 10th Senate has come to ensure that all those tools, all those materials, all those infrastructure to build our own Rome, which is Nigeria, that we have come with it. And that is where our own agenda has come in. And what is that our agenda, which is going to show and going to confirm that definitely the 10th Senate is an uncommon Senate? One, for the economy of Nigeria, that is one. The polity and the politics of Nigeria, that is two. Then the security, seriously, which is a very major concern for everyone. Even Nigerians in the diaspora, they are seriously concerned. For the infrastructure, roads, and several other things like that. We want to make sure that any law, any legislation, any appropriation that we make, all those four areas are seriously concerned, are seriously looked into. And in a corollary to that one, it's about youth development. That the general youth, that forms about 60% of the population, the sociology of Nigeria, that we must not allow them to go for long. When we say they are the leaders of tomorrow, then when is that tomorrow going to start? This tomorrow starts now. And we have to make sure that we enhance them, we prepare them, and we give them the impetus to ensure that they are really the leaders of today and that of tomorrow. So those are the areas that the 10th Senate is looking into and looking at seriously, where we know and where we think and where we have even resolved to ensure that we make very good impact, positive impact for that matter, for Nigeria and for Nigerians.
Collaboration and engagement, he said, has been a watchword for the 10th Senate since its inauguration. Now, the life cycle of the 10th Senate came on the heels of the removal of subsidy on fuel by Mr. President.
Yeah.
And till now, Nigerians are still feeling the impact. Now, how has the legislative arm of government engaged the executive to see that Nigerians or the effects of the removal of fuel subsidy is cushioned?
Yes, thank you very much. We know there's no way you are going to make omelette without breaking an egg. And then we all agreed in Nigeria, by everyone, that fuel subsidy issue has become a cash cow for some people, that it has become a drain pipe for some people. That is where some portfolio or oil exporters and importers have been making their naira and dollars. And then definitely, if we want to take the bulls by the horns, and we have to take the bulls by the horns, either we like it or not. So, Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on the inauguration, now had to struggle with the bull by catching that bull by holding the horns. It's going to be very, very stormy. We know it's going to be a topsy-turvy. It's going to lead to a lot of either political seesaw, a political igglity. We know that one. And then that was why the 10th Senate, even the 10th National Assembly, we cooperated with the president, the executive arm, to ensure that some palliatives were provided. That was when we now accommodated the supplementary budget to provide little palliatives. We cannot run the country with palliatives, but it's just for a short while. Because if there is an accident, then you must, first of all, apply the first aid. So the first aid is the palliatives. And then we did not waste time. We did not allow the executive to wonder seriously before we approved that one, before we appropriated on it for the president, to make sure that Nigerians get cushioned of the effects, the very, very negative effects of the removal of the fuel subsidy. We know is going to have that. And again, not only that, the issue of even living wages for Nigerian workers be parlayed with the executive, and within a very short while now, this year, we are going to see the result of that one for Nigerian workers. We did all those things. And then we ensured that even the roads, because we believed that if we have very smooth physical communications through our roads, then products can move here and there, because those are part of the areas whereby prices were just jacked up on even locally produced products, agricultural products. So we ensure that we approved for the executive some supplementary budget to fix some very necessary routes whereby food will come into the cities and to the towns and even to the villages. We did all those things. So just that is the first aid that I said. Then the 2024 budget will reveal that, yes, we have to boost the capacity of the Nigerian to ensure that they live a very good life, save for the security challenges that we are facing and that the government is tackling seriously. And then there's one thing that which is very remarkable. Just about one day ago, the Transparency International, when they released the index, corruption index, Nigeria had already been moved 5 steps ahead of where it used to be. It means that the little efforts that the government is putting into fighting corruption is yielding results. And said, and we know that by the time we spend the next 3 or 6 months, so we would have been able to even scale through the average level of corruption index globally. So definitely that is kudos. So the National Assembly had already and had already done a lot in the way of assisting the executive to make sure that the effects of the fuel subsidy removal is reduced. But I have some warnings even to give to Nigerians, to our people, because even when we say fuel subsidy has been removed and then the petroleum pump price has been jacked up, and we go to some fuel stations whereby even when people are buying exorbitantly, they still tamper with the meters. They still tamper with the meters, because that is when you will see taxi drivers, even drivers, commercial drivers, even private drivers, they know the fuel stations whereby they will not go to. They will say that, oh, their meters are tampered with. So I think Nigerians, our middlemen, should be wary of this and then do something about that one. That is about that. So meaning that even when the government is striving to ensure that they cushion the effects of this, then our people do not add salt to the injuries. So that's about that one. And then, like I said, in the 2024 budget, so when you look at the provisions of the budget, 20 trillion budget, rising from just about starting 14 trillion naira budget before. So meaning that there are a lot in it for Nigerians, ranging from all the sectors, so which are now being accommodated. And then what we now are waiting for is ensuring that this budget is adhered to. That is our own duty, to make sure that we sharpen our own oversight functions to ensure that every kobo that is voted to anywhere and anything and any item and any line in Nigeria, that it goes there. And not only that, I want to say, because like I always say, that we don't have to leave that oversight functions to the National Assembly alone. Nigerians can do oversight functions by themselves. When they say if the budget provides maybe renovation or maybe reconstruction or maybe building of a new road in your area, monitor it too. Ask questions after 3 or 6 months why it has not been done, so that you can raise the consciousness of those people that are supposed to provide all these services. So that is where all of us must synergize. So Nigerians, all of us, that is why they say democracy is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So if it is the government of the people, for the people, and for the people, so it shouldn't stop when you have voted. After voting, either you have voted for somebody who is there or not. So when is there, taking your own turn to be there. So definitely you have to monitor him or her and ensure that you put our own feet to the fire and make sure that what we promise, what is provided for statutorily, are done and seriously done and done with quality. So that is the only this thing that I can even tell fellow Nigerians.
In your contributions, you talk about the tampering of meters by some unscrupulous fuel sellers. Now, we have monitoring agencies
Yes.
that are expected to carry out their functions to ensure that these people do not, cheat Nigerians out of their hard-earned money. What is the intervention by the National Assembly in ensuring that these agencies that are supposed to monitor sit up to their responsibilities?
Yes. Number one is that, one, there are two ways to it. Nigerians must let the National Assembly member, especially that is very close to them, who is their own representative, to know where these things happen. We know it happens. They should let us know. That's one. Number two is that we have several fuel stations all over, either in the rural areas or in the urban areas. And then how many of these monitoring agents can reach out to all these places? How many of them can reach out to all these places? That is why the whistleblowers are especially those are the civilians, are the citizens themselves. So a government must be responsible to the citizens, and the citizens must be responsible to themselves too. The citizens must be able to say, yes, this is what is happening in our neighborhood. Look at what the explosion that happened in Ibadan. We cannot just block our ears, close our eyes, that residents of that areas don't know that some either legal or illegal miners are living in that area, and they are storing all these kind of things. Because when everybody says, oh, it's not my own problem, it does not concern me, that's why the old balance that when they come from so person and you say it is not you, they come for another person, you say it is not you. So the day they will come for you, people will now say it is not there, it is not them too. So definitely we should be the first policemen of our own neighborhood before we now start calling policemen. So those are the things that is why I'm admonishing citizens that we should be awake to it, because these things is for our own benefit and to our own good. So those ones that are tampering with meters, when you know that a meter has been tampered with, let those people that are supposed to know, let them know. Even legislators, tell them. If we are told, definitely we take it up from our own end. We call them to order. Then even we even know the addresses, or we know the offices of even the monitoring agents. Do we report? The best Nigerians will do is that we will not go to that fuel station. When you ask, why are you not there? They say, well, they are tampering with meter. We don't make any report. We don't bother ourselves. So we think it is very unnecessary. We think it is like carrying coals to Newcastle. And at times we even suggest to ourselves that, oh, if we report, we will not do anything. Have we ever done that before? So those are areas where we can even check. We can check those people in power. We can check those people in government. We can check those people that are supposed to deliver services to the populace.
All right. The business of government is a partnership between the government and the people for us to have efficiency. Now, thank you very much. The program is still Parliamentary Guide, and our guest remains Senator Adaramodu, the senator representing Ekiti South in Nigeria Senate. We're going to take a short break. You stay tuned as we move along. Across the board, I must say. Um, Let me also condole with you over the recent killing of two monarchs from your state. We, you know, we, we sincerely condole with the people of the states. Um, you also wish the Nigerians Happy New Year at the commencement of this program. And I remember the first day of January in 2024, the major issue of discussion was the issue of insecurity. So many senators had points of order, which was eventually consolidated and brought up as one motion. Um, the resolution by the Senate is that service chiefs are going to be invited for a discussion on these issues. Now, this is not the first time that the issue of insecurity is coming up in Nigeria's Senate. Indeed, not the first time it's coming up in the 10th Senate. Not the first time it's been discussed. It's been an issue, a recurring issue in previous assemblies. Um, the Senate, of about 5, 6 months ago, screened and confirmed the service chiefs. There was a closed door session with the service chiefs before their confirmation. What different thing is the Senate expecting from this new interaction?
From my own people, the Africans that dwell in the Yoruba land, they will say, "Bina otan lori eje otan le kana." That means when the head is still harboring lice, then you will still be seeing blood on your nails, because you have to scratch and kill lice with your fingers. Definitely, why we have to invite them, because apart from the mere fact that all over some areas, not limited to one area, that we still have very serious concerns about insecurity. The one that happened in my state, that is the killing of 2 monarchs, very dastardly, very sordid, very unspeakable, very unthinkable. Yes. The Senate commiserated with my governor, Governor Biodo Yebanji, and the entire people of Ekiti State. And even my senatorial district, pupils of primary schools were carted away as if they were carrying loaves of bread into the bush. And these gunmen, either known or unknown, were demanding ransom over just very young kids who didn't know anything at all. So definitely, it's a serious problem in our hands. And then, for us, when all Nigerians cannot just be carrying guns and just be defending themselves, then the security chiefs are supposed to be in charge of that. First of all, we have to ensure we call them, ask questions from them. Because reasons for all these security problems will continue to vary. In the initial time, when the insecurity started, it started with Boko Haram in the northeast. They were taking over some villages, some local governments even. Then, after some time, the government of Nigeria faced them, gave it back to them, reclaiming the local governments and the lands which they have gained illegally, illicitly. They changed it to banditry. They started cattle rustling. So after some time, they started saying that maybe cattle is not costly enough, that there's no much money on cattle. They started rustling human beings. So when they started rustling human beings, they started asking for ransom. Then they found out that maybe people were no more coming, maybe plying roads in the evening, in the night anymore. They started going to meet them at homes. So because of this, because strategies of either the bandits, the terrorists, or the kidnappers are changing, then definitely we have to ask from service chiefs that, are you going to change your tactics too? What are the tactics that you are changing to? And if you are changing to whatever tactics, what do you expect from the government? And because the government cannot take kobo out of the coffers without appropriation. So we that we do the appropriation, we need to know, we need to have a first-hand information about what are you going to do differently now. Because if these people are doing some things differently, you have to do some other things, your own reaction differently too. So that is why we believe that our proposed interaction with them is going to yield fruits. Because the former interaction we had with them, especially in the 10th National Assembly, yielded results. Because it was not the incidents of either kidnapping, banditry or whatever, or terrorism that we were having several months ago that we are having now. But the staccato of it is becoming very devastating. And because of that, look at what happened in Abuja about 2-3 weeks ago. And we found out that when the security agents went into action through the prompting of Mr. President and the FCT minister, so we have been able to apprehend many of the kingpins of kidnapping within the metropolis of Abuja. Because if they now bring their trade into the Federal Capital Territory, then definitely means that no place is safe. But now they have been kept at bay, so they could not make the advancement. So what we want to do in the 10th Senate is we want to invite the security chiefs to come and tell us. And we, because of our own experience, either among our people and even physical and practical experiences that we have to share it with them so that we can sit down together. Because the issue of security is not about shooting guns alone. It's not about planting bombs alone. If they say kinetic security problem, then kinetic a solution, either kinetic or inertia. So we have to sit down together and then we give them our own suggestion we give them what we have seen and what we think they could do better. So, and I'm very sure that because in the 2024 appropriation, security got not only the lion's share, even the elephant share of it. And so before the budget starts running, because we have just started the year, before the budget starts running, we must be able to have an agreement that, yes, this is what we are expecting from you. And after maybe 1 or 2 months, or even immediately, we don't expect to hear this and we don't expect to hear that. If we are saying that one, because if you have a child and you are sending your child on an errand, there must be some things, some instructions that you have to give to your child who's going to run the errand so that it can bring results. So that is why we believe that we have to sit down with the security chiefs to share our own ideas with them and let them share their own ideas. If they have frustrations, they have to let us know the frustrations. If they have areas where they think we can come in, then they have to tell us. So that's why it is very pertinent. And since it is a major concern for everybody in Nigeria, so I think if it is possible for us to be waking up and be sleeping with the security agents every day so that we can pay them to make sure that they deliver for us, then the National Assembly, the 10th Senate, we do that one. So, like the Senate President said, we have to attain that peaceful situation whereby Nigerians can sleep with their 2 eyes closed. But now, even you cannot close 1 eye, because the other eye that you close, maybe that's where the security will come from. So, if you are opening your eyes while asleep, it means that you are keeping vigil forever or permanently, and that is not what is good for Nigeria. It's not good for Nigerians. All of us are concerned. All of us are concerned.
Now, one factor that has been fingered as responsible for the security challenge in the country is youth unemployment. Um, you are also the chairman of the committee on youth developments. What are the plans of government in the 2024 appropriation?
Yes, 2 things. Thank you for that. Recent data that youth unemployment. I make bold to say that partly yes, majorly no. Partly yes, because the devil will always try to employ the hands that are very idle. That is why, if you look at our yesterday's order before we adjourned, we are desirous in making sure that there is a trust fund whereby when you are after graduation, you go for your NYC, there is going to be an opportunity for you to establish, even when you are not getting the white collar job, which you might have been craving for, you will get the blue collar job, which makes you to establish on your own and be a master of your own. So that one is in the pipeline. It's not even pipeline, because if it is the pipeline, a Maruda can just rip the pipe open and take whatever it is there. So it is in the line, and that one will be done expeditiously. Be that as it may. Now, if someone is hungry, is it when you kidnap and demand for 100 million naira ransom that is going to buy semovita for you? 100 million naira? Whoever is a kidnapper or a terrorist and is using AK-47 of his own, can an hungry person afford to buy AK-47? It's not possible. So it is not about hunger of belly. It is about hunger of pocket. So, because when you look at the scenario of kidnapping in Nigeria, you will find out that it is becoming something like a business. So when you cut away 5 people and you say, oh, each person 30 million, 50 million naira, do you want to tell me that an hungry person will be demanding for 50 million naira before he can go to Gwagwalada market to buy foodstuffs? Anybody that is hungry will go and do burglary. But it is not about hunger. It is about is about rapacity. Rapacity. That is the same thing for those people who do Yahoo, internet fraud. That the kidnapping thing is the internet fraud equivalent of some people. So when you sit down in the very cool corner of your room and start, you just either on your phone or a laptop, and you start start defrauding people, and you make some money out of it. It's the same one. Okay, when you see a secondary school boy who's involved in kidnapping, when you see a secondary school boy who's involved in internet fraud, is it because of unemployment? Somebody who has not gotten any certificate. Can he be shouting of unemployment that government has not given him job? If you see an undergraduate who is involved in internet fraud, because today, when you talk of fraudsters of internet, majority of them are undergraduates and fresh graduates who have not started to look for job. Is it because they don't have jobs when they have not even gotten the certificate to prospect for jobs? Is it about that? No. When you see a young man who refuses to go to school, refuses to learn a trade, and then is involved in kidnapping, is it because he's unemployed? It's avariciousness. It's rapacity. It's not about that. So majority of Nigerian youths that are looking for jobs, they are not the ones who are engaged in all these kind of dastardly acts. Because even the ones that are apprehended, when they are interviewed, how many of them have ever told you that they are university graduates? How many of them? Maybe just very few. Just about 5% or 1% even. So it's not about that. But the government must make sure how to reintegrate. Either you are elite youth or you are not an elite youth. Either by making sure that you are empowered. That one takes me back to the trust fund that I said earlier, that we capture a lot of Nigerian youths and give them that hope, that impetus to ensure that even when you are leaving school, when you are not getting the white collar jobs, you are getting the blue collar jobs. And blue collar jobs is better than white collar jobs.
Is that arrangement only for graduates, those that are passing through the NYSC scheme, or there is also another arrangement for others that have not gone to school?
Yes, there's arrangement for others that have not gone to school. Because the federal government is trying to ensure that it's going to be like a bank for the youth, whereby when you learn a trade, because a young person too must give himself something. Because in Yoruba land, they will say, "Eleru lo nkofe," meaning that when you have a load, you put it down, and you want somebody to assist you to place it on your head. You yourself, you must first of all bend down and put an effort. So you must either go to school or you learn a trade. So when you learn a trade, you can now come up and then you are now advanced. It's like the ones that are in schools, whereby who will now get the bursary that the federal government has already put in the 2024 budget, which the National Assembly has already approved. So once it means that you are in school before you can get bursary. If you are not in school, there's no way federal government will come and beg you in the bosom of your mom to come and take a bursary. So when you take bursary and you pass out, when you now go to NYC 1 year of soccer, and when you are now passing out, instead of you to be running around hustling and trying to plant japa thing, then there is something waiting for you whereby you can access. And then if you do not go to school to that level and you have learned a trade, maybe tailoring, shoe making, or whatever or whichever, then there is another opportunity for you to access it, because you have to be seen, you have to be known, you have to be asserted that yes, you are a Nigerian youth and you have learned a trade. So the government will now assist you to move you up. Because even when we talk about youth matter. All the other countries in the world, this is how they come up. So in either way, either the elite youth or the rural youth. So the government is now coming up with a lot programs to ensure that they are engaged. And then when you look presently at the government of Nigeria, there are about 3, 4, 5 ministries that all what they do there is targeted after youth. There's a ministry of youth development separately. The ministry of sports, 90-year-old person will not be doing sports. If you want to do sports, maybe juggling within his bedroom or sitting room. When you talk about Ministry of Communication and Innovation, it's youth. When you talk of Ministry of Art and Culture, it's youth. When you talk of Ministry of Tourism, it's youth. When you talk of Ministry of Science and Technology, it's youth. When you talk of Ministry of Education, it's youth. So when you now look at 7 ministries that are youth-centered, even Ministry of Industry, me down here, the small scale and so on and so forth, the NDE, the Directorate of Employment thing. So all these are youth. Because a 70-year-old man will not go to the National Directorate of Employment and be applying to go and say that he wants to learn how to sew. It's only the youths too. So our Nigerian youths too must make sure that they tap into all this. And I just want to plead to them, not just sit down at home and expect all these advantages to come and meet them. So even their Ministry of Youth Development, and I know as the chairman, Youth Development Committee at the Senate, that the 2 ministers, they have come, we have spoken, they are making sure that there's going to be a database for Nigerian youths. They have a database, who you are, where you are, what do you do, what do you want to do. So once they have that one, if the Ministry of Agri wants to do youth in agriculture thing, they know where to get to. If the Ministry of Industry wants to, maybe they want to give soft loans or they want to enhance youth in entrepreneurship, they know where to go and they know where to access it. So once we have this, and then we can make use of all these avenues and all these youth-oriented centers. So definitely the issue of unemployment will be reduced. Not only that one, the tension among the Nigerian youths will be reduced. Our japa thing will be reduced because there's no way. Even when you japa, you will still japa. That means when you go, you will still come back because there's no place like home. And if we look at how much it will take us to japa, if we look at how much it will take us, and then we are going to meet some uncertainty really. But can we blame them? No. But those of us who are here, we will keep on to let them see the advantages and the avenues where their lots can be better. And then for this 2024, for provisions in the budget, and then the initiatives that the executive has taken through the president, through Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and then our own resolve in the National Assembly to ensure that anything that concerns the youth are done with expeditiously and meritoriously. I'm very sure that 2024 is going to be a year of Nigerian youth.
All right. Let me end the program on a lighter note. There's this saying that the pen is mightier than the sword. Then here we are in the home of the gavel. And once a journalist, always a journalist. Now, which is more powerful, the pen or the gavel? Because the hitting of the gavel is final. Which is more powerful?
The media is called the fifth. Fourth estate of the realm. So we have the first, second, third, and fourth. So the first, which is the legislation, of the realm is supposed to make laws. So our gavel is as powerful as to the extent that we make the laws. The second, which is the executive, their own, either they use sword or they use pen or they use whatever there, is as powerful as to the extent where they can exercise the franchise that is given to them by Nigerians. Then the third, the judiciary, which you know, within the belly of legalism. you know what it means to go to the courts, the various courts, from magistrate, even customary court, to the High Court, to the Appeal Court, to the Supreme Court. So their own gavel and their own wig is as powerful as to the extent that the Constitution has provided for them to be. Then the fourth estate, which is the media, is as powerful with our own pen to the extent to which they are accommodated within the statutes, within the freedom of Nigerians themselves, and even all over the world, because it is the journalists or the media that all shatters of freedom are just in favor of them. All shatters of freedom are not in favor of the politician. All shatters of freedom are in favor of the media. Fundamental human rights. You can talk, you can say, you can see. It is the journalists, like in my place, they will say, Tojubari and Adake, when the eye see, the mouth will keep shut. But journalism, when the eye see, the mouth will not keep shut. So it's only in journalism. And we will say that mouth and the pen is even mightier than the other three. Because, yes, if I stand up and I don't stand up well, it is through the fourth realm that the public can know. If I stand up well and I'm not standing up constitutionally, it's through the fourth realm that the public can know. So for me, without comparing, because the basis of comparison is,
of course, that came to give us a Black December. Mr. Senate President, I crave your indulgence to read Order 42, or you take judicial.
Noted. 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 Just go ahead and summarize your personal explanation. Use your mic.
It was a sad day in Ondo State during the Christmas. Precisely on the 7th, we had death calling to take the first seat of Ondo State, His Excellency Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, the voice of the people, the governor of Ondo State, the founder of major infrastructure development, particularly the Amateku security issues in Ondo State. A governor that came to serve, a governor that was loved by his people, a governor that departed within a very short time, unbelievably. Mr. Senate President, I will not want to take much of the time of our time because time is fast spent, but it is to say that Oluwarotimi Akeredolu came as a legend, a man who served his people. He was the former president of Nigeria Bar Association, and despite that, he was governor of our state, elected twice to serve the people of Ondo State. But as it is, Mr. President, it's so unfortunate that over 4.5 million people of Ondo State are currently bereaved.
Thank you so much, distinguished Senator Adaramodu. The program has been Parliamentary Guide. We thank you, our dear viewers, for your time. We also enjoin you to join us next time as we bring another distinguished personality to feature on this program, Parliamentary Guide. Until then, on behalf of all those that contributed to make it a success, I'm Lami Ali, thanking you for your time and asking you to stay tuned.
When we talk of democracy, we mean true representation, and the parliament is the place, and therefore the people must be informed. A program that brings to you expert clarifications and teachings of parliamentary concepts and procedures. Welcome to this program.
Thank you very much.
On Parliamentary Guide, we'll teach, we explain, we clarify parliamentary concepts and terms.
Run over